everyone, and welcome to Finding Faith's first episode. I'm your host, Cherise Kotze. So, this is my first episode that I'm going to post entirely. So, in this series I've created is going to be based on your calling. So, it's today's episode's name is Stop Running from Your Calling. What is your calling? Well, not a lot of people know what their callings are, and not a lot of people think that their calling is gonna happen because it takes so long for it. We were even born, God had a calling over your life. And a few people might think, no, that's not true, but it is. You don't know what your calling is, perhaps, or you do know what your calling is, but you don't know how to use your calling or how to let that calling happen. But you have a calling over your life. Everyone has a calling over their life. Either you're an instrument in God's hands, or you're a prayer warrior, or you're literally just a warrior. You have a calling over your life, okay? I am a living testimony. I have a calling over my life, and that is what I'm doing, this podcast. So, just now, you do have a calling over your life, and don't think that when you do have a calling, it's not going to happen. It will, in God's time. Even when you're not ready for it to happen, it will happen, and then the doors will just open. Unfortunately, the next thing I'm going to talk about is still based on your calling, but it's just why does this topic matter? Unfortunately, I've been one of those who fell into the worldly standards, basically, because I've been so afraid to launch my podcast. I've been so afraid, okay? It doesn't even, I've just trying to manage growing with the Lord and growing a podcast from the ground up. It takes so much strength to do that because you don't know what people are going to say and you care about what people are going to say. But that doesn't define who you are, okay? Because when you look back at the time and you were like, okay, I'm going to start this thing, I'm going to proceed and open the doors for my calling so that my calling can happen. And then you're going to look back and say, whoa, look how far I've come. And that's what my mindset is, right? And I don't care what people are going to say. I don't care what anybody going to say, actually, because I'm not doing this for me. Because my calling over my life is I'm going to be an instrument in the Lord's hands. Reach so many people, and how I'm going to do that? Through social media. So that is why my podcast exists. Well, it's gonna exist. Your calling over your life is so much bigger than you think, okay? And unfortunately, I've been, like I said, I fell into that standards that I think people are gonna think this is weird, or they're not gonna understand why I'm doing this, or they're not gonna understand the reason behind my heart. But I'm actually here to tell you that no matter who says what or what is done to you, it doesn't matter, okay? Because over time, you're going to realize that nothing else matters. Nothing else. Okay? It's only the Lord's opinion over your life that matters. And your calling can be so different from everybody else, okay? There's no one on earth that has the exact same calling as you have. Believe this like now, but I'm just saying that your calling over your life is so much bigger than that fear you are feeling, that anxiety you're feeling about what are people gonna say about me, what are people gonna do, how are they gonna react, am I gonna have friends. Your calling is so much bigger than that. And when the time is right, the Lord will open those doors for you and you will be so blessed because you had obedience for Him. You had the discipline to sit and do your calling. For me, I personally think, I'm speaking about my own thing, is that I have to sit and I have to plan. I had to create the podcast from scratch up. I have to tell people about it, and that was scary. It was scary because I thought, no, they're gonna think I'm losing my head. Like, no, you're not losing your head. That's just, no. What about my crush seeing this? Or that I'm posting on social media and he comes across it? Or people from school or people from university that sees my stuff and think I'm the cringiest person alive. You know how big the world is? Do you know how big the world is. And that their opinion doesn't have to matter to you. Because it's a normal thing to fear, that anxiety, but it's not impossible to escape that. Just know that fear you're feeling is literally that holding you back from posting. I've been there, I've done that. But that fear of holding you back, and oh no, wait, what if they see this? What if they see it? What if the popular girls see this? And the mean girls, what if they see this? That doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. And just because you think, okay, but they're gonna judge me, they probably will. They will. Not sugarcoating that. That doesn't have to be your rule that no, they're gonna judge me, I'm not gonna do this. Doesn't have to be your rule. You're your own person. Society doesn't define who you are. And the one thing that keeps nagging at me is that constant thing of, no, people are gonna think this is weird. So let it be weird. They're gonna think it's weird, probably because they're weird. Okay? Your taste in things and their taste in things isn't the same. And it won't be the same. Their taste in music is rap, yours is classical music. It's not the same. It's two different things. So to compare your life to theirs and say, no, they're gonna judge me, they're gonna think I'm weird, they're gonna not wanna be my friends, and then look at their life, it's like this pitch perfect image they're creating because they have the title to create that, doesn't mean they have everything that you don't. Not normal, but what are you doing for your calling over your life? It has to start now. To open your eyes, begin your calling over your life. To begin your calling over your life. Okay? It doesn't matter what everyone says. And the society thing that determines our standards, our identity, our what are we doing, that is not how Christians are. Okay? I read 2 Timothy 1 verse 6 to 7. This is why I remind you to fan into flames the spiritual gift God gave you when I laid my hands on you. For God has not given us the spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. So never be ashamed to tell others about our Lord. That's basically it. He didn't give you the spirit of fear, and even when you feel this fear creeping in and you feel, no, people are gonna judge me, they're gonna judge you. You're right, they're gonna judge you. But the Lord didn't give you the spirit of fear just for you to sit back and say, no, I'm afraid I'm not going to do this. That's not how it is. That's not how it's supposed to be. The Lord didn't give you the spirit of fear, and you shouldn't embrace this fear you're feeling, because that means you lose and the devil wins. Simple like that. You're going to sit back and embrace this fear you have. Well, news, you lost and the devil won. If you're gonna sit back and embrace this fear you're feeling. The Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear. He gave us the power, love, and self-discipline. So, I don't know about you, but that one speaks a lot, okay? And even if you feel like, no, but people are gonna judge me, they're gonna judge you. They're gonna judge you. That doesn't mean not to run from your calling. Stop running from your calling. Literally, it's simple like that. Stop running from your calling. God didn't give us the spirit of fear to sit back and to embrace this fear we're feeling because now people are going to judge us. People are going to think this is weird. People are going to do this and that and this and that. They're going to do that. Anyway, either way, they're going to. But you can make a difference, not only in your life, but in someone else's life. You can be the reason why someone turned to God. Or why someone opened their Bible again for the first time after years and years. Do you know how much power you have as a Christian to bring others to the Lord? Do you know how much power you have? The power of prayer? The power of prayer? The power of just doing your calling? Stop running from your calling. I read Joshua 1 verse 9. Be strong and courageous and know that the Lord is with you wherever you go. Be strong and courageous. The Lord didn't give you the spirit of fear. Be strong and courageous. Don't feel discouraged when something doesn't go your way. Because again, there's so much bigger things coming. If you don't get this brand deal, or you're not going to get this follow, or you're going to get this look, there's so much bigger things that will come to your way. So don't feel discouraged because no, this brand said no, and this follow said no, and this person looked me weird. Don't. So before I became a Christian, I always knew I had a calling over my life. I always knew what is my calling. I always knew what was it. Okay, I never understand really what a calling means. I never understand the depth what a calling has over your life. I just knew, okay, well, I'm gonna be an instrument in the Lord's hands, but I'm gonna be a piano. I sat on my floor bawling my eyes out. Okay, there were so many times that I didn't know what I want to do, didn't know what I was going to do. So I just prayed. I prayed to the Lord and asked for Him, listen, please open the doors for me. Open the doors for me to can see what I'm going to do. And He did. And that's why we're sitting here. The main truth I want to leave you guys with today is that not everyone is going to understand what you're doing, but that doesn't mean don't do it. Stop running from your calling. Stop trying to be this person that keeps falling into worldly stuff, even though your calling over your life is so much bigger. It's so much greater than you can think. And for you to sit here and to embrace that fear, that doesn't make sense to me. But I know we are all humans. We all feel differently. But that doesn't mean you have to sit and embrace what the devil is trying to tell you. It just means you have to pray a little bit harder. Your calling can unfold in so many different ways than you can ever think of. Okay, there's so many opportunities for your calling to just boom bam, here it is. So continue praying for it. Continue praying over it. And I can guarantee you, I'm living proof that one day, when the Lord's time is right for your life, your calling, or whatever it is you want to do, will happen. No matter what says who, and who says that, and what and not. It's going to happen, either you like it or not. So yeah, that is what I'm leaving you with today. And this is my first episode, so I'll see how I like this layout and stuff. I'm sorry if I've been talking a little bit harder and then soft and then yelling into the mic. I can say this is my first episode, still trying to find the hang of it, and my words keep on slipping up. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or week, and my posting schedule is every Saturday until February. And this month's series is called Your Calling. And today's episode, Stop Running from Your Calling. Stop running from your calling! I'm your host, Cherise Kotze, and this is Finding Faith.